Hey guys, welcome to another live stream. Thanks for joining. Listen, today marks, I completed a full month of this. Someone challenged me in a group to do 30 live streams in 30 days, and I did. And hey, thanks for sticking with it. Some of you have been giving really positive feedback. So I don't know if I'm going to continue to do this, but it's been fun. Um, and today I was doing some research for a video that I'm going to be making soon. And what occurred to me is that a lot of people think like long distance running is healthy. So what I did, I just put in the words marathon runner dies suddenly or something along those lines. I put it into Google News, right, into a news feed. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Um, and I got like an insane number of hits. Now, okay, this is mostly they're mostly stories about the same man. But if you go to page 2 or whatever, here's another person, right? Um, so sometimes there's crash stuff and so on, which I guess is different. But if you just look at the people who died and were diagnosed to have died of a heart attack, it is like crazy. It is just insane. Every time there's a marathon, someone is dropped dead, right? Um, Now, in the video that I'm making, I talk about why this is the case, but I just wanted to I just want people to understand that this is not a joke, right? If you are seriously considering long distance running, you need to get your heart health checked. I mean, first of all, you might need to get your sanity checked, but that's a different thing. If you decided you want to do it, fine, great. If that's what floats your boat, no judgment from my side. But you can't just do it the way that people are currently doing it. I mean, I think there are many reasons that this is happening, and one reason is that yeah, just the way the culture of running has come up. People, sucking on sugar drinks, little gel packs, and so on as they're running. I mean, it's just incredibly bad ideas, right? Um, Here's another person who passed away, unfortunately. Listen, I mean, there's no judgment here per se. I'm not doing this to shame anyone. I'm not even trying to dissuade you from running. If that's what floats your boat, go for it. Um, but you can't be oblivious to the fact that it is a dangerous thing to be doing. That is what I'm saying. Just like if you want to smoke or if you want to take drugs or whatever, that's your business. I'm not telling you not to do it, but you have to try and mitigate the risks. You have to try and do things that will reduce. For example, yeah, I mean, my example is not very good because when I used to be a smoker, I used to think that eating salads and so on was healthy. So I would smoke and I would eat a lot of salad, and it turns out both were unhealthy. So maybe my own example is not great, but for example, if you're going to be having alcohol, for example, you really should probably increase your intake of water, because water is one way to just mitigate the risk factor of alcohol, significantly up your intake of water, right? Um, so nothing really to say here other than we really need to be aware that some of these athletic endeavors. This is a rugby player who died at just a half marathon, right? Um, so these are that's what sort of gets me about some of these stories is that they're elite athletes. Some of them are very young. 28 years old is really terrible to be having a heart attack. I would say it's just not. I mean, like if he was on, I don't know this particular case, so I can't actually comment on this particular case. But if you're an athlete and you're doing the right things, that 28 years old is way, 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 way too young. There's a rugby player who passed away recently in South Africa. He passed away in his 30s, but he had a heart condition for many, many years, and it was a known heart condition that almost ended his rugby career. So, I think that case is slightly different. This one is just it's a 28-year-old. He was taking part in a run and he just collapsed. Um, the cause of death will be determined, but it's almost always a heart attack, and there are reasons why it's almost always a heart attack I go into in the video that I'll be releasing soon. Here's another one. Oh, it's the same person? No. Was that the same person? No, this is now another person. Um, this is back in February. So like you don't have to look very hard. Here's another person. Um, this is 7 years ago. Okay, this isn't recent. But still, um, this one is recent. Um, how do fit, seemingly healthy runners collapse mid-race? I mean, I'm going to be answering this question in detail in the upcoming video. So it's not really a mystery. It really, part of it is the diet. And part of it is that the way people, the physiology that you get when you're running marathons is very much, it's not a great physiology. I don't know how to put this. Like you're giving yourself sort of fatty muscles in order to do this kind of racing. So it's not really ideal, even aside from all the carbs and all the junk that people are eating when they're training for it. But most of it, I think, it's hard to put numbers on these things, but most of it is the diet that people are going on to train for this, which is just a disastrous diet, right? And I recently had a client. I have a client, working with a client who's running Comrades, and we are, the first thing we did is change that junk food diet, and then, if he's going to continue to work with me, and after the ocean, so Comrades is coming up in about 2 weeks, so we're not going to change too much before he runs Comrades. But after that, it's going to be like, dude, we need to actually need to do some scans, need to check out what's going on, need to maybe change the training regimen and so on, need to not be quite so hardcore with these things, because the adaptations that you're getting that will allow you to run those ultra marathons are not the adaptations that we want humans to be having in general. Okay. So some food for thought. If you like long distance running, if you like even shorter distance running, if you like long distance swimming, if you like long distance biking, no judgment. But you have to understand that the culture around these things, the culture of carb loading in particular, which I'll get into in detail in that video, that needs to change, because that is killing people left and right. There are other mistakes too. Like, I think excess water consumption is an issue potentially in some cases, but that's, I think, most of the deaths we're talking about. Basically, it's heart attacks, because the body has been, during the entire training period, the body has been getting heart disease, and then you try and do your best run, and you sort of actually stop the heart altogether. You create a heart attack. You sort of, that stress is the straw that breaks the camel's back. And if you're 28 and you think these symptoms they're just going to go away, unfortunately, that's not what happens. We do see a lot of 28-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and even, I think one of the cases I just showed on the screen was someone who's in their 40s. So people at different ages are really vulnerable. And hey, if you want to prioritize your heart health and not drop dead while you're running, feel free to give me a call. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.